going to go ahead and get this call started. Welcome to the Call All Millionaires. It's definitely a pleasure to be hosting this call every Wednesday. Freedom fighters, I tell you guys to go ahead and keep fighting. We're going to go ahead and jump into the meat and potatoes of this call, but before we do so, I want to welcome all you guys that are this is your first time calling into the call and let you guys know that every week these calls are full of stories, strategies, and secrets of the super wealthy, and I want to welcome you all to Obsessed with Success. And I'm going to go ahead and move out of the way, introduce you guys to a master marketer. Man, this man is a phenomenal mentor. I want to thank him from all he's done. You know, the calls that we have had. This guy here never worked a job in his life. He pulled himself out of poverty, mostly using the systems he learned from his mentors. I call him the wizard, and to me, he's the greatest mindset trainer of all time, self-esteem development expert, Mr. Haziq Ali. Are you on the line, sir?
I'm here, Mr. Sherrod. Thanks a lot for all you do, brother. I'm real proud of your growth in the organization and whatnot. And just overall, you know, we know first you serve and then you rule. So I congratulate you for being somebody who's a servant and proud of it. You know, welcome millionaires to call number 52. This makes a year straight we've been doing them. I get the testimonials. I love the fact that you guys are appreciative of the calls. I appreciate all of you guys for being here, and I celebrate you because we're all a part of the same tribe. We're the different ones, y'all. We're a special breed. We're a class apart from the norm, right? We're the ones that decide to put down the remote control and control our lives, right? Like, we the ones that decide that we're going to stop staring up the steps and step up the stairs. I love entrepreneurs because I feel like it's the perfect meeting point between faith and service. After all, what are all these holy books trying to get us to do, right? Serve with some faith. They bang into our minds over and over again how Jesus walked on water, but most people forget the point of the whole story, and that is that Peter walked on water too, right? But the whole point is that you got to jump out the boat. You got to jump out the boat. And so I applaud all of y'all for being on this call because y'all are some of the ones that have jumped out the boat and just seen what the God inside you can pull off. So my name's Haziq Ali. You know, my Instagram is Haziq Ali. That's HAZIQALI. My Facebook page is Haziq Ali. I know you're noticing a pattern. My Pandora station is Haziq Ali. So I appreciate all y'all for being here. We're going to talk about some incredible stuff, so I hope you text messaging your friends and letting them know you're in the building. They do not want to miss this call. If they understand, like we do, that everything has to do with enrolling conversations. Everything has to do with your personal brand. We're going to go over some things that are going to change the rest of your life. We're going to talk about, one, how to present. I don't care if you're talking about presenting a car, a house, an opportunity. If you're trying to get investments into this new business idea you have, you're going to have to learn how to present it. And these 4 steps I'm about to give you the presentation, if they don't change your life, I will eat my scarf. All right? And then also we're going to run down this whole thing about how to do an elevator pitch. It's the most common question that you get asked in any event, right? What's the first thing they say? It's almost like they pre-programmed or like everybody's playing some kind of robotic game. One of the first questions they're going to ask you is, what do you do? Or when you meet somebody who's really special that could change the rest of your life, right? Because we know the only difference between this year and next year are going to be what? The books you read and the people you meet. So you might be meeting a couple people that could change your life, and you could blow it with the wrong words, right? You could blow it. An example I love that I just now came across recently is, let's just say me and my homies are going to a party. Because some of y'all run around here saying, man, ain't no good prospects where I'm at, ain't no good prospects. So let's just say me and my homies is running into a party, right? And I walk around in there, and I'm like, hey, baby, so how much you weigh? You know? Hey, baby, how much makeup you wear? Oh, so you not pregnant? How many numbers I'm going to get? I'm not going to get that many. And then I come out into the parking lot, and I tell y'all, dag, man, them girls don't even like dudes. Why you bring me to this party? Wasn't no prospects in there. Nah, it wasn't a party. It was you, homeboy. You sound like a moron. So we're going to get down to presenting yourself in a certain way so that you begin to attract the money, so you begin to attract the abundance. And we call that an elevator pitch. I hope y'all are ready. Get your pens and pads out. Y'all know this by now if you've been on these calls before. This is our Obsessed with Success call number 52, Stories, Strategies, and Mindset from all the best to ever do it. All I do is learn the stuff and then give it to y'all. Some of it is my own, and then some of it is just dealing with millionaires and billionaires that I study, all of my own personal mentors. And I hope you guys enjoy this call. So let's just get into it. All right. The first thing that they tell you when we're talking about elevator pitches is what? What are you trained to do? You're trained to walk over to somebody and kind of tell them a little bit about yourself, right? Like, oh, you know what I mean? My name is Gerald, and I have a flower shop. And who cares, right? Like, who cares, honestly? The first step to an elevator pitch is that you got to realize, don't nobody care about you. We all have this invisible headset on that's tuned into a radio station called WIIFM. Can you dig that? WIIFM. And WIIFM stands for something real simple. What's in it for me? If you don't play a song that's coming on that radio station, don't nobody hear you. WIIFM. So there's a whole sequence you want to go through when you see that possible mentor in the room, when you see that millionaire or that billionaire in the room that could change your life. If this was one of my live trainings, I would ask some of y'all to run through what you think you should do first. And every single time, people say little things like they run up to the person and they be like, oh, yeah, man, my name is this and this is what I do. And it's like, that billionaire don't care what you do. That millionaire don't care what you do. That millionaire care what he do. So I'm going to give you the first 5 steps to setting it off so that you can even get into your elevator pitch. Because before we start talking about your elevator pitch, we got to keep it real. They don't care yet. You got to make them care a little bit. So here go the first 5 steps. I hope y'all ready. Got your pens and pads. I hope you got your homies on the call already. I gave y'all a couple minutes to get them on here. So let's get to it. All right, the first step is you pay them a genuine compliment. You pay them a genuine compliment, right? So you want to walk up to Donald Trump and be like, man, that book, The Art of the Deal, changed my life. Good grief, you have no idea what it did for me. I don't care if it's a billionaire or a bum. Grown men die for it. Babies cry for it. It's called attention. So the first thing you want to do is pay them attention with a genuine compliment. Pretty simple concept, but when's the last time you started off a conversation like that? It can't be something that's all like fugazi, right, and something that's plastic or regular. You got to give them something genuine. It has to be something based in the realness, right? The second step to even beginning your elevator pitch is that you focus on the 90-10 rule. What that means is that you got 2 ears, you got 2 eyes, and you got 1 mouth. Do the math. Success leaves clues, right? God seems to be having some pretty good success with designing our heads that way. So what does that tell us? That tells us we should be looking and we should be listening twice as much as we're talking. It's no different here. 90-10 rule says they should be doing 90% of the talking or you're blowing them already. You're already annoying the crap out of them. They're rich. They're powerful. You need them. They don't feel like hearing you talk. What can you tell them anyway? In the words of Jay-Z, what, homie, you broke. What the heck you going to tell me? That's how they feel. So it ain't about you talking. You know you're winning, and I don't care if you're trying to sell them a car, if you're trying to sell them an idea. You're winning if they're doing 90% of the talking, and you're losing if you're doing more than 10% of the talking, straight like that. Number 3 are the 5 magic words. Write these down. This is the next step after the first 2, the 5 magic words. If you want to get anybody to do anything for you, all you do is issue these 5 magic words out. You ready? How can I help you? That's how you get help from anybody. That's how you get help from anybody on the planet. How can I help you? Those are the 5 magic words that will change your life if you just learn how to deliver them with sincerity. If you can say those 5 magic words to anybody on the planet, you can get help from anybody on the planet. I hope y'all hear me well. Again, everybody is listening to the same radio station at the same time all day, every day. And it's called WIIFM. So if your song don't come on that radio station, then my friend, you are not playing a hit record, and no one's going to hear it. You hear me? All right. That brings us to step number 4. One of my mentors always lives by this rule. You got to underpromise and overdeliver. So step number 4 is really simple. Always deliver what you promised. Deliver exactly what you promised. Number 5 is let them ask you what you do. Number 4 and number 5 should be pretty simple to understand. But number 4, where you deliver where you, no quicker way to destroy a relationship than to have unmet expectations, right? Most of the time, dudes think they broke up with a girl because, she wanted something different from him. No, she wanted something different from what she expected. Maybe if you don't oversell something, maybe if you keep it true and honest, then things can grow and flourish organically. But too many of us try to set unrealistic expectations, and it's not smart. Listen, y'all, class has nothing to do with how much money you make. If I can just give a quick sidebar, class is all about how far you can see in the future. That's why in a low-class neighborhood, they sell one cigarette at a time, like a Lucy. But in a high-class neighborhood, you barely see a liquor store, right? In the low-class neighborhood, it's corner stores and liquor stores everywhere. In a high-class, well, that's because in the high-class neighborhood, you see more health food stores. Maybe you see a Whole Foods more than you see McDonald's, right? There's something to that, right? Success leaves clues. But my point being, deliver what you promise. That is all it takes to establish a strong relationship. That's all it takes to boost your self-respect, your self-image, your self-concept, which I call self-esteem. That's all it takes to make this last forever, like Keith Sweat would say. All right, so moving on to that step number 5, let them ask you what you do. Because don't you find that almost like you're doing a mind control trick? After you ask somebody what they do, eventually they're going to ask you what you do, and we'll get to that in a minute. But my whole point is, after you pour all this value into them, like, oh man, I know somebody that can help you with that, Mr. Trump. Let me call him right now. Hold on, I'm gonna step over here and see if I can get him on the phone. Do you think eventually he can't possibly ask you what it is you do? And at that point, it's the golden moment. Now it's time for your elevator pitch, right? Now it's time for you to lay it down. How are you going to describe what it is you do so that they care? So here's my golden standard of an elevator pitch. Those of you that have been to our entrepreneur workshops that we hold on Wednesdays, matter of fact, if you haven't been to one, then email me at changetheworldwithhazik. changetheworldwithhazik@gmail.com. That's changetheworldwithhazik. You guys know that if we get 1 million millionaires, that's $1 trillion. You guys know I'm on a war against poverty. What I'm going to win the Nobel Peace Prize for is for changing around this occupational education system so that it can actually help people to self-actualize. I think we need to start aiming for the top of Maslow's pyramid instead of always being stuck on the bottom. Look up Maslow's pyramid if you don't know what it is. You spell Maslow, M-A-S-L-O-W. Maslow's pyramid tells you all about how you end up being happy. And the bottom is food, clothing, and shelter. And the top is what we call self-actualization, or access to your potential, or you realizing your dreams. When your dreams have now been fulfilled, that's self-actualization. And I feel like if we educate the youth on the correct things to do, if we educate them about how to achieve financial freedom, they can spend more time living in their purpose, their God-given purpose, and they can spend less time chasing the dollar bill. Slaves didn't work for free. Those of you that follow me all the time know I say this constantly because I'm an abolitionist. And I believe, like Harriet Tubman did, that, hey, I freed thousands of slaves, but I could have freed thousands more if only they knew they were slaves. So the whole point of this Maslow's pyramid thing is that self-actualization frees the slave. I hope y'all hear me out there. But Change the World with Hazik@gmail.com, and you can find out how you can participate in our movement. But that's the whole point here. So now you've gotten through all of the steps that help you make it to even elevator pitch time, and now it's time for you to deliver this elevator pitch. So here's the gold standard. 1, is it memorable? And 2, does it make them ask you a question? And preferably the question is, how can I buy something from you? Because it is called an elevator pitch, right? So if you're even just selling yourself, they need to be asking you for something, a business card, how can they order it, how much does it cost, something that's making them kind of show themselves with a buy signal. So if you run your elevator pitch through this gold standard, will you come up roses or will you come up wanting? Will you come up lacking in the balance? Well, let's get into it. What are some really good elevator pitches? I could give you a whole bunch, but this is one of my favorites that I recently learned. And so, for instance, if somebody asks you what you do, you know, what one of my random kind of like elevator pitches would be something like, my name is Hazik. Oh, okay, before I even get into mine, right, let's just say you sell real estate. Maybe you don't sell real estate. Maybe you need to access your God-given creativity and really think about the benefits that you're selling, not the features. Yeah, you sell houses. That's a feature of what you do, right? But what do you actually do? Maybe you sell family memories. Same thing for a photographer. Maybe you capture moments so that people can relive them over and over again. If you're a real estate agent, maybe you sell family memories. Maybe you sell good times and self-esteem, right? Not you sell houses. Who doesn't sell houses? So one way that you can craft an elevator pitch that should help you the rest of your life, whether you're in, traditional sales or whether you're in network marketing, is you could start off with, well, you know how? And then you list the problem. And then you say, what I do is, and then you list your solution to the problem. So let's do an example. Well, you know how you got all those bills coming to you every month in the mailbox? Well, what I do is help people earn an extra paycheck from home so they can pay some of those bills. Pretty easy, right? Well, you know how, and what I do is really simple elevator pitch that makes them say, well, how do you do that? They're literally begging you to tell them more. Is that a pitch? So maybe mine is, well, what I do, you know how people always want a bigger tax refund? Well, what I do is show them how they can turn $49 into $450 tax deductions. Is that golden? All right. So that's how you do an elevator pitch. I hope that helped. I'm not even going to talk y'all to death about that because there are so many, and we could do a whole call just on those. But I hope that was helpful. Now let's move on to something even more exciting for me, because I honestly feel like, I don't know, when I came across this information, it's almost like I felt bamboozled. I felt almost hoodwinked because I've been seeing sales presentations all my life. Some of you know my story. how I've been running businesses since before I was a teenager. I know something about sales. And so when I first heard this information, it rang true to me instantly, to the point that, like, this goes for most of my calls. It's not like I need notes. It's now imprinted on my brain. And sidebar about that, how many of y'all know the latest Beyonce song, my foot up, my foot, and it don't make you a dime. How many of y'all remember staying up all night to finish some paper in high school, or staying up 3 days in a row to get a term paper done freshman year? Do you even remember what the term paper was about? Did that term paper do anything to help you make a thin dime? No, but you did it. And why did you do it? For some validation? For a letter on a piece of paper that an employer ain't even going to ask for later? It's insane. But here's my point to you. The information that I'm about to give you is so good. The information that I already gave you is so good. The people literally pay me thousands of dollars to come and teach this stuff. Whether we're talking about corporations, high schools, the halls of some college, they pay me thousands of dollars to teach you guys what I just now gave you for free. Do yourself a favor and memorize it like you did the latest Beyonce song, or some young thug song, "Give me my lifestyle." Right? You know that. You're singing along with a buffoon, but you can't memorize your own elevator pitch. You can't memorize how to answer a question so that it makes you money when you know you're going to get that question every time you go out to a networking event, every time you go out to a party. That's one of the first things you're going to get asked, and you can't memorize a good answer to that? How serious are you? How low is your thermometer set? How low is your self-esteem? That you really aren't taking this serious enough to build the skills that pay the bills? Are you serious? Nah, you're not. You're not. It's like, if you're not going to get serious, go ahead and lay in some warm water, take some aspirin so your veins open up, and just slit your wrist. You know what I mean? Just go ahead and do the world a favor, because there's other people that could use that oxygen you're breathing. The whole purpose of nature is to grow or die. And if you ain't growing, just go ahead and die quicker. Like your man said, and lean on me. Go ahead and jump, boy. Just jump. You smoke crack, don't you? All right. So I digress. But my point is, take these serious. Or it's like, just do the world a favor, yo. All right. So I'm about to give you guys the 4 rules to a presentation, any kind of presentation. This is going to change your freaking life. These 4 rules are mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. You're going to be like, my God, these make so much sense. But it's going to be counterintuitive. I warn you, some of them ain't going to feel like they make sense at first. But good grief. They ring true to me. And during the question and answer, which hopefully we'll have a little bit of time for, I hope they ring true to you. All right, so the first presentation rule that helps you close them before you even show them anything. I don't care if you're selling a car or if you're selling an idea. If you knock out these 4 steps in perfect order, they're going to be already in agreement with buying what you're selling or what you're sharing with them before they even know what it is. Millionaires, ever since I've started using this, and, you know, I'm in network marketing. Some of you guys know. I call it boss training. You know, the same way cross-training works these muscles maybe you never used until the personal trainer gets a hold of you. I do boss training, where you're going to work all these entrepreneurial skills that you didn't even know you had. They were lying dormant until you decided to flex, right? So it's boss training. All right. So I brought in, using some of this stuff, 60 people on my own and I've only been at it about a month. I'm not talking about what my people have brought in. I've brought in 60 people by myself, just using some of these concepts that, again, I'm teaching you guys for free. I hope y'all are ready to take notes. If you haven't been taking notes already because you're driving in the car, make sure you follow me on Instagram at HAZIQALI, and I'll run down to you any stuff you kind of didn't get. Or Facebook is HAZIQALI and a number 1. You'll see me sitting on some elephant in India. All right, but here we go. So step number 1 is let them know that everybody's doing this thing you want them to do. Everybody's already doing it. They the only ones that ain't doing it. And then if you're like me, you also throw in why. So that's step number 1, to let them know everybody's doing it. Last week we went over the 6 shortcuts to influence and persuasion. And what was one of them? Social proof. I gave you guys the famous episode of one of those punk you on TV shows where they play the practical jokes, right? And I told you about the elevator story where the guy gets on the elevator, he's facing the front of the elevator, but then on the second floor, people get on and face the back because, of course, they're in on the joke. On the 4th floor, more people get in and face the back. By the time this dude gets to the top of the building he's going to, he goes ahead and turns around and faces the back because the human mind is forced to want to do it. It sees everybody else doing it because it's just there to protect you. It's just a protective device. So just to keep you safe, it's like we better run if we see all these people running. We better turn around if we see all these people turning around. We don't want to lose our life. We don't want to lose social esteem. So let's do what everybody else is doing. Ladies and G's, you're fighting a subconscious battle. When you're talking to a prospect, when you're talking to somebody that wants to buy what it is you have to sell, this is a subconscious war that's going on. You got to learn how to fight. All right, so the first step to that fight, that war, is to make sure that they know everybody's doing what this is that you're about to do. Everybody's doing it already. The second step is to tell them the price. Yeah, I know, every presentation you ever saw, they wait and tell you the price at the end. But wait, there's more, and all that. Nah, tell them the price in the beginning. Just get it out the way. Guess what? Even if it costs $5,000, they are now going to pay more attention, not less attention, because they want to know what the heck is so cool about this that it costs $5,000. If you don't, they ain't listening to nothing you say. They're sitting there saying to themselves, oh, man, well, I'm about to tell him, man, he's trying to run a jug on me. This dude is trying to con me out my money. How much is it about to, I know what I'm about to tell him. My mother has erectile dysfunction. They're not listening to nothing you're saying because they're sitting there worried about what the price is going to be. So get the price out the way. The third step is let them know all the reasons that people don't buy. All the reasons people don't buy. Because if not, they're going to be sitting there trying to come up with them. Because nobody wants to feel scammed. Nobody wants to feel taken advantage of. So go ahead and do that work for them. Go ahead and let them know all the reasons that people seem to not want to do what it is that you're talking about right now. Be they stupid reasons, be they smart reasons. Name them for them. And then they're going to relax. If the reasons make sense, they're going to be like, oh, okay, yeah. So this dude's on the same page with me. Oh, she's on the same page with me. Makes total sense. I get it. The fourth step, and this one is, just golden. The fourth step to this is that you tell them whether everybody does it, whether they do it or whether they don't do it. It's still cool with you. You just want to give them enough information to make a decision today. And then you end it off with the cherry. You say, fair enough? And if you're talking on the phone, you may want to shrug your shoulders because that gives what we call the reasonable man tonality. So try it sometime. Shrug your shoulders and be like, fair enough? You're like, oh, she seems so reasonable. Yeah, that sounds fair. Yeah, okay. So those are the 4 steps to doing a presentation, and they work like a charm every time. Not sometimes, but every time. Because at the point they go ahead and say, fair enough, you have just closed them before you've even told them anything about what it is you're selling. They've already agreed subconsciously that if you can make it make sense, they will go ahead and purchase this Maserati from you. They will go ahead and get this Lamborghini if everything makes sense. But the beauty is you've moved their subconscious out the way, so now they can hear anything you're saying. Because before that, they don't hear nothing. I promise you. Your best approaches, like my man Big Al says, are plinking off their forehead and bouncing on the floor. So that's how you do a presentation. I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down right here. I'm gonna start trying to make these calls a little bit shorter so that I don't keep you guys super long, and that'll be that. So if you have any questions or if you have any feedback, then hit me, on Instagram or Facebook, or *6 yourself right now, and you can unmute yourself. Tell us where you're from and how many people you put on the call, and give me your question or your feedback. Anybody got anything?
Hey, yo, Z.
This is he.
Hey, this is Kendra from Louisville, Kentucky.
Hey, Kendra from Louisville. Louisville in the house.
Sure. Got like 7 people on the call.
Okay, that's good, Kendra.
Yeah, so I had a quick question. The 2 golden standards. Is the pitch memorable, and what was the second one?
Does it make them ask a question?
Okay.
Great question. I hope everybody caught that. The 2 gold standards of a pitch. Does it make you memorable? And does it make them ask you a question? Preferably a question that has to do with buying something from you. Anybody else got anything?
Yeah, Z, can you hear me?
Yeah, this is he. How you doing, millionaire? Who is that?
Doing pretty good, man. My name is Joey Lewis, and I got about 8 people on the call. So, all right, I'm looking at step number 2 where it says tell them the price. In my particular business, there's 2 different prices that they could go with. How would you go about telling them the price before your presentation then?
All right, I'd be like, the beauty of this one is that it's only $199 if you want to get your credit developed and start a business. Or if you just want to start up your own referral business, it's only $49. And the beauty of it is that it still gets you 450 tax deductions, which is crazy because 450 tax deductions can change your life. As a matter of fact, the 3 reasons that a lot of people don't join is because 1, they don't understand tax deduction. 2, they don't think it works as well as it does. And 3, times are so tough, they might not even have $49. And then I laugh. Like, I hope that ain't you that only had $49. Does that help?
Very much, man. Appreciate that.
It's all good, man. Anybody else got anything? *6 unmutes you, and then we can take your question. Yeah, this is he.
Hey, this is Stella from Dallas. What was number 4? You said tell them, and I missed.
You said tell them what?
Number 4.
Step number 4 to which one?
Mm-hmm. To the last one.
To how to give a presentation?
Yeah.
Okay, so step 4 is when you tell them they can join or not join. It's all good. But what you are going to get is enough information to make a decision today. Sound fair enough?
Yeah. Okay.
Because, see, the whole thing about that, and thank you for the question, Stella, the whole thing about that is that people swear they about to go home and think about it. What they tell you, I'm going to think about it. What does that look like? Are they going to go home, put on a smoking jacket, kick their feet up by the fire with a glass of Merlot, and just think about spending $49? Hell no. Matter of fact, they didn't even research before they poured $49 of liquor down their throat at the club that weekend. You know what I mean? They didn't research the parking lot attendant. Is he going to steal my car? Is he going to park a Hummer next to me and chip my paint? I didn't even research before I parked at the club. But all of a sudden, when it's time to invest in yourself and change your life, it's time to do some research. I'd be like, you sound ridiculous. So we got to find a better way, and I just gave you one. I hope that helps.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Okay. Anybody else got something? And thank you, Stella, for muting your phone. That was so sweet. Anybody else got anything else? *6 will unmute you, and then you can say your name and where you're from and how many people you put on the call. All right. Well, yeah, that's my kind of crowd. Nice and easy. Y'all are easily entertained. I appreciate that. So if anybody needs me, then you can hit me up on Facebook or Instagram. That's Haziq Ali. And you spell my name Haziq, and my last name is Ali. I hope this was of benefit to you guys. Just kind of remember that rich people always.
Can I
Hello?
say something? Hi. This is Amber calling from McKeesport, Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
I don't have anyone
How
on
many
the
people?
line.
Boo!
Oh, I just started, but I just wanted to say that I don't think the length of the call matters. I think everything that you said was very informative, and I think I'm already a millionaire, so I'm ready to go. And I just wanted to let you know that it can never be too long when it comes to information and knowledge. So I just wanted to say that.
Oh, that's so sweet of you, Amber. Please put that on Facebook and stuff and let everybody know that you enjoyed the call. As a matter of fact, when I post the playback code on my Facebook, it would be super cool if everybody that enjoyed the call would just say something about like how good the call was or what they learned from it, because that helps us help our mission. Our mission is to free the world of poverty, because we feel like if we can get people financially free, then they'll be able to spend more time living in their purpose. The more we can do that, there's less depression, there's less obesity, there's less crime, there's less sin, and there's more peace on planet Earth. And so it seems like something small, like you guys are just putting somebody on a training call, but it's so much bigger than that. You guys are helping with more than you know. So I applaud all of you guys for being here, and thank you so much for saying that, Amber. That made my day.
No,
Does anybody else?
You made my life.
It's all good. It's all good. Does anybody else have any feedback or comments or questions? That's how y'all gonna do me, huh? All right. So yeah, we out of here. So all right. So again, my name is Haziq Ali, and this has been Obsessed with Success, and this is call number 52. When I post a playback code on my Facebook page, please, or on my Instagram, please let people know how much you enjoyed it. Please share the post, because by doing that, you are helping the whole movement move. And I love you all. And I'm out of here. Mr. Sherrod, you can stop the recording.
Can you finish your last statement you were going to make?
I don't know what the last statement was. What was I talking
something about rich